Welcome back. In this video we will start building our game environment, and in this video we will create path for our player on which he will run, and also we will start modeling jungle environment. So for that we will click on our train, and then you can see in inspector window the properties for the train. So in train section you can click on this tab, fourth one, for adding new texture. I already added some textures, so you will find these textures in standard assets, and then you can go to environment, train assets, surface text texture, and you can apply these textures. Otherwise you can go to Google and search for texture, for example jungle ground. Then you will find some textures over here, and you can use your own textures for your game. So internet is slow, so we will choose one textures from already available textures. We'll choose this one, green texture. So how to add new texture? Just edit, and then you can add new texture, and then you can drag here new texture like this. So we already added these textures. Now we'll use this texture. So click on this texture, and then you can brush like this. You can paint your train like this. Now if you see, the brush width is bigger, and we don't need this much bigger size of our path. So for that we should make brush size a little bit smaller. So for that we will decrease the size from here. I think 27 is fine. So we will use this size for creating our path. So I will just remove this one, this old textures, and a texture you can undo this texture by clicking shift, and then by pressing shift, and then by a left mouse click, and like this you can rub the old texture, and then you can select the new texture, and you can make path like this. So I don't have any idea in my mind, or I don't have any map for a jungle, so I will just create a random atmosphere. So, and type you can make your own, no problem. So we have created the path for running Jumpu player. So if we play, we can see our path is ready, and our Jumpu is also running on the path. That's good. Now we need some heights, ground heights on the train. So for that, what we can do, we can come to this first tool, and then we can select our desired brush. The brushes are very important actually. If for example I zoom in and show you how brushes will work, you can analyze the importance. If I select this brush and click, you can see the result. It's very smooth and big size brush. If I select this brush and then click, you can see it looks like mountain. If I click brush like this, then you will see result like this. So brushes are very important, and you can use the your choice brushes for modeling your environment. So for that I will just now I'll just click on this brush, and shift, by pressing shift and right mouse click, I'll just remove these mountains, and now I will start making some heights on my train. For that I will just choose make this brush size bigger, and then there is a opacity. What is opacity? Actually opacity is the height. So if we choose higher opacity, you will get higher height. So if we decrease this opacity, we will get a smaller height. So in our case we don't need too much opacity. So what we will do, we will just make this opacity around I think 13 is fine, and then by left mouse click we can just click right like this, or we can just paint our train like this, the mouse. So I make this area a little bit higher, then like this. So after that, this area a little bit higher, and then this area, and that's it. Now as you can see, our player is nowhere because our train become high. So we will decrease train height here a little bit, shift and then click like this. Now we can see our player. So again I will click a little bit high, now it's fine. Now we will select this move tool and I will select third person controller, press F for focusing, and then by selecting this node I can adjust my player on the ground. So now it's on ground. Now if we play the game, we can see heights in our train like this. So he's running on these type of heights now. That's good. Now the next step, for a realistic jungle view, what we can do, we can create some side paths here with some stones or rocky, because we don't want our player should not go now. We will create our sides boundary here because we want our player to be within this path. So for that I'm just creating some stone heights on the sides of the this path. For that I will just click on train, go to first tool, then we can select this option. We can make brush size smaller, we can decrease the opacity to some extent like 3 maybe, and then if you click you can see heights which are not too much visible in this view, but when we run the game definitely that will be very clear. So we'll just test that this height is fine with us or not. So for that I will make heights like this. So I think this is not good, and this road should be smooth here. We can add some heights later on, no problem. So what we can do, we can select this third option, and with this option we can smoother the area surface. So it will be high, but the little bit high from standard train, but it will be smooth, so our player will run on a smooth surface. So that's good. Now we will select this and we will make brush size smaller, like 3 maybe, and then opacity I think 3 is fine, and then we can click like this and we can make a road boundary like this. So we'll make some boundary, and after that I will check that if boundary is fine, then we will move further. So we will play the game for checking this boundary. So let's see. Yes, this is fine actually. The height is fine. In our game view we can see our right side and left side as well, and front as well, and the boundary is fine I think. So we can make we can confirm this height, and we will so I created the this side of the road. Now you can see if we click on play, you can see this road side. Now a little bit realistic view. Now we will texture these sides. For texturing, we can just click on the train, and then on texture section we can choose our desired texture. So I will use some stone texture. I go to assets, stone textures, and there are some textures here. So I think this texture is good, I think. So we will use this texture for roadside. So what we can do, we can add this texture by clicking edit texture. This one we can edit. So we can drag and drop new texture here, apply, and now if we texture use the texture, we can apply new texture on these sides. So we will increase the opacity of the texture, and then we will start texturing our sides like this. So that's it in this video. I will just texture the sides, and in next video, after texturing we will proceed in next video.